So the Champions League group stage draw has been completed. And as they said, it's the last year of the group stage format before we go to the Swiss model. And for the most part, the groups are actually decent. They're good, apart from two groups, Barca's and Man City. Man City specifically was an absolute shambles. Absolute shambles. But I'll get to that. So before I start the overview, let me know your thoughts about the group stage draw. Who do you support? Are you happy with the draw for your team? Which group do you think will be the hardest group to survive? And without further ado, let's get into it. So Group A is Bayern Munich, 11-time Bundesliga champions in a row. Manchester United, FC Copenhagen, and Galatasaray. And this group, I'm not going to lie, it is a good group, specifically because of Galatasaray. Because Galatasaray, for the most part in history, has actually been a very challenging team to beat, especially in Turkey. And for Bayern and Manchester United, it will be a case of survive Galatasaray and you should be good. Specifically Manchester United. Bayern should sweep this group. They should maybe win 5 out of 6 matches, minimum. Especially if they get Paulinho from Fulham. So Bayern should be, for all intents and purposes, the group winners, and then Manchester United should qualify second, and Galatasaray should get third. However, knowing Manchester United, these guys could probably flop against Galatasaray twice, especially in Turkey. Turkey is what Manchester United fans should fear, because Galatasaray can do something against Manchester United at home. So if they get past Galatasaray, then they should be able to go through. Copenhagen will finish last, unfortunately for them, but they're going to finish last. It's a fact. So Bayern with Kane, with Kimmich, with Paulinho potentially, they should be able to do bits in this group. So let me know your thoughts about Group A. Who do you think will win? Who do you think will finish second? And do you think Galatasaray will be able to, maybe final match day, be able to have a chance of qualifying? Let me know. So Group B, Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV, and Lyon. And Arsenal, come on, you should be able to win this group. Sevilla and PSV should be the closest challengers. This is Lyon's first season in the Champions League ever, I think. So this is new territory for them. For Arsenal, it's new territory for most of the players. I think Saka has never played the Champions League match before. Martinelli hasn't. Ramsdale hasn't. Most of this squad hasn't played the Champions League match before. Partey has, and Jesus has, and those are two names I can think of off the top of my head. So Odegaard has, potentially, I think. So for Arsenal, they may have a lot of inexperienced players when it comes to the Champions League, but they should win this group. Sevilla, as Europa League champions, obviously won part 1, and to be honest, do not be surprised if they finish third and drop into the Europa League. Do not be surprised, because these men are Europa League merchants. They don't care about the Champions League. So don't be surprised if they finish third. PSV could do something, but I doubt it. They're getting Europa League max. Lens are going to finish last, in my opinion, because it's just one of those things for the French league where a team manages to spring a surprise and do something, maybe even challenge PSG like Lille did and Montpellier did 10, 11 years ago. So this is a case of Lens just accept the money, the Champions League money, try and do your best. If you can try and get into Europa League contention, so be it, but I don't think they're going to be doing anything. So let me know your thoughts about Group B. Arsenal should finish top, and Sevilla should, on paper, finish second, maybe third max. But knowing them, they're going to aim for third and go for the Europa League again. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Group C, Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga, Union Berlin. Now this is going to be a good group, specifically, obviously, because of Napoli and Real Madrid. That'll be a great match, great 2 matches to watch. Union Berlin and Braga will be competing for third place for Europa League places. And I don't know who will top this group. It should be Real Madrid, but they've got Militao out for the season, or for a big chunk of the season. Courtois is apparently out for the season. So it's going to be down to Modric, Kroos, Bellingham, Vinny when he comes back. It's going to be up to these guys to lead the team forward. And for Napoli, they've lost Spalletti, but they've still got Osimhen there, Kvaratskhelia. They've got all these guys there. So the only guy missing really is Kim Min-jae, and he's gone to Bayern now. So they still got the core of the squad really still there. It's just a case of new manager, but they should be able to finish second minimum in this group. Real Madrid, like I said, should top this group. Braga will probably potentially finish last. And Union Berlin, if they can spring a surprise, again, this is their first ever season in the Champions League. The stadium was built by the fans, so they're a big, big underdog. If they manage to get third place, that would be a great achievement. So, again, top 2 places are pretty much guaranteed for this group, but Braga and Union Berlin will be challenging each other for third place. If they manage to get a result against Napoli and or Real Madrid, then that would be great for either one of them in their quest to get third place, because there's no way they're going to get first or second at all. So yeah, Let me know your thoughts about Group C. Who's going to top this group? Group D, Benfica, Inter Milan, Red Bull Salzburg, and Real Sociedad. And this is a good group. I think Salzburg are going to finish last. But it's between Benfica, Inter, and Real Sociedad. Benfica lost Ramos and Enzo in January. Ramos has joined PSG. So they don't have their striker. They don't have their star midfielder, which did cost them a bit last season in the knockout stages in terms of Enzo leaving. With Ramos leaving, we'll see how it goes for them. But to be honest, Real Sociedad have a good chance of qualifying. And Inzaghi is good in cup competitions. One-off matches, two-legged matches, he's good. He proved it last season. Inter had no rights to be in the final, but he got there. He got them there. And he should have won that final. Inter should have won. But because of Dom and Doma, aka Romelu Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez, these guys lost. Rodri came clutch for Man City with that goal. But because of those two Dom and Dummers up front, Inter lost that match. So for Inter, I think they'll finish first. Benfica will get second, but Real Sociedad are an issue. And if Real Sociedad are able to get a result against Benfica themselves, like one-on-one, then lo and behold, they could get second. And Benfica could go into the Europa League. So we'll see how that goes. But in my opinion, I believe that Inter will be first and Benfica will be second, in my opinion. So let me know your thoughts about Group D. So Group E is Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio and Celtic. Atletico should finish first. They screwed up last year, finishing fourth and last in their group. But I believe they will redeem themselves. They've got an easy-ish group, so they should. Celtic are finishing last. Let's get that out of the way. Celtic are finishing last. The Scottish teams do not do well in Europe, for the most part. So let's get them out of the way. With Atletico being first, I do not watch the Dutch league at all. I do not watch Serie A often at all. But with Feyenoord being the Dutch champions and Lazio losing Milinkovic-Savic, I don't know how this one is going to go. But I predict that Lazio will get second and Feyenoord may get third. But that's a 50-50 right there for me. I do not know much about these two teams. I do not watch them often, so I cannot make a solid judgment. So if you know more about these two teams, let me know who you think will finish second behind Atletico Madrid, because Atletico Madrid should finish first. They should. And Celtic will finish last. So let me know your thoughts about Group E. Now, Group F. Group F, in my opinion, is the group of death because you have PSG, Dortmund, AC Milan, and Newcastle United. And PSG have lost, they haven't lost Mbappe, but they've lost Messi and Neymar. So Mbappe is there, and Ousmane Dembele is there. And to me, like, PSG are never winning the Champions League. They're always going to take L's. So if they take an L in the group stage, that will be an even lower low for them. Dortmund, I think Dortmund will be lucky to get second, in my opinion. AC Milan have got Leao, they've got Giroud there, they've got Pulisic who's been scoring goals. You know, like, they've got Mike Maignan, they've got Theo Hernandez. Like, come on. So for me, I think PSG will, I don't know if they'll top the group, but I think PSG will be first. And AC Milan will finish second. Dortmund will go into the Europa League. Newcastle, they're not going to, I don't think they'll qualify for Europa League or Champions League knockout stages. I don't think so. I'm not expecting much from Newcastle, but if you're a Newcastle fan, this is a great group to be in, because if you're willing to travel, you can go to France, you can go to Germany, you can go to Italy, iconic stadiums, maybe apart from PSG Stadium, but Dortmund Stadium and AC Milan, the San Siro, like, that's a great trip to go to. So for Newcastle, this is going to be about experience, in my opinion. They should be looking for experience. They should be looking to, you know, what is it like to play against the best of the best in Europe? What is it like to be in these stadiums? What is it like to be amongst the best teams in Europe after not being in the Champions League for like 20 years? So for them, this is going to be a great experience, but they're not going to qualify from this group at all for any European competition. So for me, PSG and Milan are going through, but Dortmund could say something, but I think PSG and Milan are going through. So let me know your thoughts about Group F, because this group, in my opinion, is a group of death. One of these teams, let's say iconic, PSG aren't iconic, but, or maybe even Dortmund, but to be honest, they're big teams. One of them are not going through, and it will be intriguing to see who that team will be. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about Group F. Now we go to Group G, and G stands for guzzlers, because Savannah, Zvezda, and Young Boys are going to get guzzled by Man City. Like, Man City are just going to suffocate, mutilate, harass. There's going to be a prenatal engineering, at least 2 prenatal engineerings in this group. Even Leipzig could get engineered by Man City, because this group is a joke. It's an absolute joke. Why and how do Manchester City always get these easy groups? How? Of course, some Man City fans will say, oh, well, if you look at this year, we had this team and this team. Like, But what is this? What is this group? Leipzig. Didn't Haaland score 4 or 5 goals against Leipzig last season? And was it the season before where Man City scored like 6 past them or 7 or something like that? And then you have Red Star Belgrade, who they're not going to do jack against Man City. None of these teams are going to do jack against Man City. You've got young boys. Young boys are going to get profiled by Man City. So Man City, they should concede a maximum of 4 goals max and get 18 points. And they better not concede against Red Star Belgrade or young boys. All 4 goals better come from RB Leipzig, because Leipzig, they can play open and do whatever, the German team. So they better not concede against Savannah Silvestre or young boys at all. So Man City and Leipzig are finishing first and second. Red Star Belgrade and young boys are going to battle out for 3rd place. Young boys better get 3rd place. They better. So let me know your thoughts about Group G. If you're a Man City fan, you must be happy, because you might can rest players in match day 4, 5, and 6. Bro, what a joke. And then Group H, FC Barcelona, FC Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Antwerp. And again, Royal Antwerp are going to finish last. Donetsk should get 3rd place. Although, who knows? I don't know the state of Shakhtar Donetsk. So they may finish last. But yeah, Barcelona and Porto should qualify from this group. Xavi, you better top this group. You better qualify from this group. You cannot have another year where you drop into the Europa League. They lost to Manchester United in the playoff. So they barely played the Europa League last season. And then was it the season before when they lost to Frankfurt in the, was it quarters or semis? So Xavi's record in Europe is not good whatsoever at all. So this year has to be the year where he starts and improves and gets these players to start firing in Europe, because Barcelona, this is a second biggest club in the world, 2nd or 3rd biggest club in the world. It's not acceptable, even in their current financial state, for Barcelona to be struggling to get out of the group stage of the Champions League. You've got Gundogan now. There's no excuse. So Barcelona, you've got Lewandowski there. You've got Rafinha there, who some fans will say isn't good enough. You've got Frankie de Jong. You've got Ter Stegen. You've got Araujo. You've got these players there. So there's no excuse for Barcelona to not make out of this group. Porto will be your biggest challenges. I wouldn't be surprised if you drew against Porto, but again, close to maximum points minimum for Barcelona. Xavi, if he fails to get out of this group or even finish 2nd, the spotlight has to be put on him, because that is disgraceful if that happens. If he drops points to Donetsk or Antwerp, disgrace. Absolute disgrace. So there's my overview of the groups. Let me know your thoughts about the draw, and who do you support? Who did your team get? What did you think of the draw overall? And who do you think will qualify? Let me know your thoughts. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.